Hello, today is June 21st, 2030. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? The future came sooner than we expected, and it's amazing. I'm Igor Biroyev, and I will show you how things have changed.
Human capabilities became limitless. Our body can charge the phone. If we get lost, the clothes of the future will take us home. Elixir or eternal youth, myth or reality? Is it possible to control lightning? And how the sun will save the environment? Global Energy 2030. This is real future. Igor Biroyev presents.
Human, the peak of evolution, the main source of problems on the planet, and its main savior, who is able to change everything by force of thought. Our head is a transformer, where electricity is running through billions of neurons. Our body is actually a perpetual engine, a permanent source of energy. By 2030, we have made ourselves stronger, in addition, more useful. Human. Look at this crowd of people. Everyone has a mobile phone in their pocket. Almost everyone has a computer. In 2030, our gadgets are still with us. However, if we previously made thousands of steps to find the wall socket, now we walk to generate energy. Each step is a small release of energy. This device is called a kinetic generator, and it stores the energy of our steps.
Kinetic generator includes magnets and special metal alloy. Shaking causes it to pass through the magnetic field and generate electrical energy.
I see is that energy will be much more personal. More and more the direction of energy will be something as liberating, where we don't think about energy as something that you have to go to a certain location, you have to plug in, you have to carry a battery, but it's something that it's with you all the time.
Over the past 10 years, many discoveries have been made, but people started thinking about improving our lives much earlier. As early as the beginning of the 20th century, the best achievements, the science started to receive various awards. One of them is the Global Energy Prize, the International Energy Award, established in 2002, with 35 scientists from 11 countries being awarded. It brings together the most powerful scientists and researchers in the energy sector around the world. Thanks to this, in 2030 such possibilities are available for people.
The world is hungry and thirsty for solutions. We reached a stage where we are simply overheating the world. We need all the best talents of the world. But Russia has this prize, this Global Energy Prize, to make people around the world aware of the importance of development in the energy sector.
In 2030, a 10-minute walk means 1 hour of music in your player or 26 minutes of a phone call. But this is not the last discovery.
Thermoelectric generators are revolutionary innovation. They work on the temperature difference. They extract energy from the warmth of the human body.
This is a very cool thing. This is the battery. We attach it to the hand, and throughout the day it accumulates the energy of our body. When I get home, I can charge the phone or some other items using it. And if we could do without wires, that would be very cool. It was a comment from a person living in our time in 2030. And such things begin to appear. For example, these are smart watches. One side of the clock is in contact with the warm surface of the skin, and the other side with the environment, which is always colder. This contrast generates energy. Right now, before your very eyes, the clock is charging.
The world in 2015, 2016, 2017 was talking about digitalization, the pervasiveness of the Internet of Things, and now it's happened. So as I look around me, I see everything has a sensor connected to it.
But what happened in the world filled with digits and sensors with its most impulsive force? How has the human changed? Let's look at the pages of the fashion magazine.
Dreams come true, laces of the future in a new sneakers and what they can, shoes, sneakers with a self-postonate laces. Clothes that charge. Clothing made on synthetic so-called solar tissue also accumulates energy. It has built-in Wi-Fi sensors that can connect to the network. The new generation of clothes. If there is nothing to wear, you can quickly create his or her own clothes. A can of liquid clothing replaces the whole wardrobe. One should spray on a part of the body, allow it to dry, remove the produced compound, wash it and wear it. The spray is made from the special fiber mixed with polymers, which turns into elastic and durable fabric. These are the emotions that these changes cause in people of the future. Bye-bye synthetic garments. Now the designers will come up with the just color for the spray, and everything else you can do by yourself.
But the outfit would be incomplete if the smart glasses are not put on. That's where the future begins. Glasses are the new smartphone. They took a huge part of the functions. During a holiday abroad, words in a foreign language are replaced with a translation into one's native language. And if you are lost, the navigation system will help you, which will project the direction signs directly to the road ahead of you. And to top it all, any shot can be instantly posted on social media. In 2030, cyborgs are not the news. Even my right hand, it's time to reveal the secret, is mechanical. Bionic arms and legs are connected directly to the brain. They learn to detect muscle and nerve impulses. Exoskeletons attached to the legs give people the opportunity to walk and lift weights. And the retina implant is installed in the eye with a damaged retina. Look, almost all my friends already have some body improvements. I have not done anything yet, but I think I should get a cyber eye. Well, you know, to look through the walls. Every other person makes such changes to themselves in our future. We are really becoming more and more like superheroes. And robots become our helpers. They are not very similar to people. They are rather such smart boxes with sensors, probes, and very smart brains. Robots do almost all the housework. They move around us. They can lift up to 5 kilograms, so they are capable of vacuuming, collecting scattered things, washing anything. Well, for now we'll go around the house. It has changed a lot. House. It probably will not catch your eye, but there are no wires or sockets in the house. Although it's full of gadgets, sensors and devices, the smart system not only controls temperature and lighting, it also ensures minimum power consumption. In fact, when I get home, the house does everything for me. I can ask it only a couple of questions or order something on the internet. Until quite recently, light was given to us by mercury lamps and incandescent lamps. It was expensive, they often burned out, and harmed the environment. LED lamps are more efficient and durable. Today, they are in every house. This is now good only for a Christmas tree.
The LED is a crystal that starts to glow when a current flows through it. Durable, resistant, one crystal can give 34 years of continuous glow. This discovery was made by the laureates of the Global Energy Prize, Nick Holonyak and Shui Nakamura. Light output of such a source is much higher than obsolete bulbs, and environmental friendliness and a long service life have allowed forgetting about unnecessary expense of house lighting. This discovery quickly spread throughout the world, becoming the impetus for further development of a whole new generation lighting industry. The Global Energy Prize recognized scientists for the real revolution that they made in this field. Consider, red and blue diodes are firmly entrenched in our lives. Without them, it would not be possible to work with a TV, DVD, camera, smartphone, traffic light, aircraft and vehicle equipment. The combination of red and blue diodes in combination with green is capable of producing pure white light, so it is thanks to these scientists that white energy-efficient LED lighting, the most economical and safe for the environment, has spread all over the world and has served humanity for many years.
Energy is so fundamental to everything that happens in the world, to how our economies run, how we generate wealth, how we provide employment, how cleanly or dirty our industry is, what that means for the future. I think the prize is very important because, as I said, the energy is the lifeblood of economy and society. It runs through everything we do.
But there are other ways to spend electricity intelligently, and they became a reality thanks to the events of 20 years ago.
2011. Arthur Rosenfeld received the Global Energy Prize for creating compact fluorescent lamps and heat-reflecting windows in his laboratory. Now, energy efficiency is an important feature of a modern house.
Arthur Rosenfeld, the American scientist, is probably the brightest of our laureates, in that his developments are based on the high school physics. In other words, he is a scientist. He is very famous, very big scientist with huge achievements, but nevertheless, he made his main achievements based on basic things. Energy. Everything, one way or another, depends on it. It is enclosed in the small. It is necessary to revive something big. One of the main achievements of science is what we learn to produce where we used to just spend.
Modern houses have learned to generate energy. Wind turbines, heat generators, solar panels and even garbage help homes become completely energy independent.
Do you want to see the typical roof of a house in 2030? Until recently, people were astonished at the solar panels. Nobody believed in their ability to convert the energy of the sun into electricity. And then the day came when solar panels appeared on every roof of the house.
When you have individual households being able to, at a simple level, to be able to generate rooftop solar, then you have a lot more engagement of people to think, oh, do I want to generate more electricity? Can I? And you see them changing the pattern of consumption they have. Because in some sense, what's the difference between renting out your house from Airbnb or putting up some more extra solar panels and deciding how much energy you want to use or pass on?
There's no longer so much a model of the central energy supply, particularly power, to distributed demand. I see people producing and consuming their energy, and they're coming together through virtual power plants that are software-enabled.
It would be not possible without two things: cheap material for batteries. The Global Energy Prize laureate Michael Gretzel developed it. The cells of a solar panel named after him do not contain silicon. Their structure became simpler, and the panels themselves became cheaper. Solar panels. This became a norm quite long ago. They work even in northern countries. They do not need much sun. They are so sensitive that they work even in cloudy weather. The second thing is energy storage. The nominee of the Global Energy Prize, Elon Musk, learned to efficiently save and transform what the sun offers us. In the distant 2016, he presented to the public a sample of a battery with solar panels. Today, the capacity of such a device is more than 10 kilowatt-hours. This is enough to provide electricity for the house during the day.
How does the city of the future work? We get energy from what's used to kill us. Thermonuclear reactor can charge a whole city. No traffic jams. There is no exhaust gas. And it's not a joke. Smart cars will save ecology and life. Global Energy 2030, this is the real future. Yegor Beroev presents.
So, here we are. Here is our house. This is the energy around us. We really have changed a lot. And we spread the changes around ourselves, to the streets, to the neighborhoods, to entire cities. This point in the middle of the desert is Masdar City. It is not far from Abu Dhabi. Instead of oil, gas and coal, the city receives energy from the sun, wind and geothermal sources. Ambition to reach the sky, care for the environment, ease of movement, these are the mottos of the new cities. City.
For one, we're no longer so much looking at the fossil fuel as our only source of energy. I'm seeing around me, even in a place like Abu Dhabi, beyond solar energy technologies everywhere. Wind technologies, we have new technologies for allowing us to generate power from low wind speed.
We can charge the phone with clothes, but how to make this huge system live? There are several ways. Cities are powered by powerful but safe thermonuclear reactors.
Tokamak, the name of the reactor, which is based on a safe controlled reaction. It used magnetic current to control the reaction and electricity to start it.
Thermonuclear reactors are much safer than nuclear reactors. The amount of radioactive substances in it is relatively small, and in the event of an accident, there will be no destruction of the reactor. One of our main victories is that we learned to use what used to kill us.
There are no more huge garbage dumps. The city is powered with garbage energy, or sends the garbage for processing. It's cool, they show at archives of garbage dumps how people breathed. I do not understand. It's good that it's all over.
There'll be a much bigger recycling industry for metal, for paper, for plastics. Food waste you have to compost. You can make it into a compost for agriculture. So there's a lot of scope for much, much more efficient recycling of domestic waste.
In 2030, power plants operate on the basis of the Allen cycle. The cycle uses carbon dioxide as a working tool. Thus, the gas is discharged in liquid form and without emissions into the atmosphere. This discovery produces electricity at the same cost as conventional gas turbines, but remains environmentally friendly.
The Allen cycle is the principle of CHP plant operation when all carbon dioxide is not released into the atmosphere but returns to the process.
Remember this picture. Cars, traffic jams, petrol vapor. Not only smoking pipes polluted the environment of our cities, but we found a way to breathe deeply. This is a terrible picture. I have no idea how people could live in such an atmosphere, in such a place. And in general, now a lot has changed. For example, I cannot imagine myself driving. I just sit in the car glued to my smartphone. Surprisingly, the roads have become safer. The cars replaced gasoline engines with hydrogen and electronic ones. But in addition, their smart computers replaced drivers. The number of road accidents halved. And in all regular situations, people choose autopilot.
My car drove me. I just said I want to go to the place from A to B. Just an easier life, less probability of collisions, because I'm not driving, you know, just a machine driving for me.
Now everyone can go to any point without much effort. Transport partially replaced more accessible modes of movement. Self-balanced scooters, self-balancing unicycles, segways.
While you stand still, your self-balanced scooter or self-balancing unicycle takes you wherever you need. All our family uses them, and we bought a Segway for our grandmother. I know there were big problems associated with charging them in the past, but now that the batteries are different, you can ride all day. For an energy self-sufficient planet, you need very little, a couple of volcanoes, the sun, wind, water, and a pinch of rubbish. Holiday of the future, a suborbital tour on a trip to the ISS. And what would you prefer? How to control lightning with a laser? And why colonize the moon? Will we not regret it? Global Energy 2030. This is the real future. Yegor Biroyev presents.
The human is energy independent. The house is energy independent. The city is energy independent. What to say about the planet? We try to squeeze out energy from everything, from paper, from rubbish, from algae, or to use volcanoes. The hot, radioactive core of the Earth heats the water to the highest temperatures. Geothermal steam and hot water drive turbines, which are used in heating systems and production processes. Now we can extract 10 times more energy than 20 years ago. Planet. This archive video is 30 years old. The turn of the century, the end of the 20th, the beginning of the 21st century. Pipes are intoxicating, cities are suffocating with exhaust gases. In industrial centers, colorful rainfall is not uncommon. Today, everything has changed. Actually, I do not remember myself, but my grandmother told me that when she opened the window, you could not see the city because the air was heavily polluted by exhaust fumes from factories, from cars. Now I cannot imagine it, because I go out into the street and I know what I breathe. I'm not afraid to take a gulp of air.
I'm very happy to say now in 2030 that I find that our dreams have begun to come true. We have a reduction in the emission of CO2 into the atmosphere. It's been balanced by using more renewables, less carbon and more hydrogen in the mix of the carbon and hydrogen in the fuels, We're now hoping that the global warming will come to an end or will stabilize at this point. Happy to say that most of our dreams have come true through research and development in energy. And I would say that work at the Global Energy Prize helped a lot in creating this situation that we are now in the beginning of 2030.
Associated gas was one of the main problems of the turn of the 20th and 21st centuries. There was a lot of gas and oil produced, but the residues that went with it had to be just burned. The Russian taiga was literally blazed with the torches of the flare gas. Then in the 17th, 15th, we extracted this gas, but no gas processing plants were built. For example, in Urengoy, no product pipelines were built, and we burned ethane, propane, butane worth $5, $7, $8 billion per year. This was a huge damage to the country's economy. But the years passed, and everything changed.
Dozens of plants beyond the Urals have turned their regions of Russia from extractive into commodity-producing high-tech ones. New branches of railways now carry not only oil and gas from the north, but also unique products for the world market.
Combination gas and associated gas processing products came to the European part of the country, to Tatarstan, Bashkortostan, where we had chemical facilities. And today they are all fully loaded. Import of oil and gas products to the country has decreased.
The extraction and processing of hydrocarbons continues. Without them, one could not survive. But now, in 2030, they no longer kill us in our environment. Emissions from the internal combustion engines are minimal due to the environmental friendliness of gasoline. The introduction of closed storage of coal and ash and slag removal systems is now available in every city.
We have changed our attitude not only towards what is hidden in the Earth's depths, but also towards what the sky gives us. We tamed lightning. How? Have a look. We learned to control lightning with the help of laser rays. One ray creates lightning, and the others direct it to the right place.
Laser fluence has a unique ability. It helps to split air molecules into ions and free electrons. As a result, the laser ray is the ideal path for lightning.
My girlfriend lives in a city where 20% of electricity is generated this way. They even have a tradition. On Sundays, they gather on a viewing point and look at controlled lightning. The spectacle, they say, is just stunning. That's how it looked in 2017, and that's how it look now. Agree, the difference is not that huge. And this is all thanks to the elixir of youth, which were also invented. It's all about stem cells, which they learned to freeze at the beginning of the century, and then, during lifetime, when old age begins to approach, they were implanted in patients. One's own stem cells perfectly support human life and the youth of its tissues for a very long time.
Recently, a wedding of celebrities took place, so it turns out she is 70 years older than he is. She dances on stage as a young woman. Before it was a sensation, though now this is not surprising.
Right now, I'm checking the schedule of flights to the nearest planets. No, they did not start selling tourist tickets yet. But research flights, programs on the colonization of Mars, the extraction of space energy resources, and construction in space are very promising areas. Cosmos.
This site appeared several years ago and immediately became one of the most popular in the world. The data from a huge Chinese radio telescope, which literally monitors the space, is posted there.
So huge that probably it would be possible to build 30 football fields. But the Chinese have not learned how to play football, so they do not need the fields, but they know everything about the space.
Technical characteristic of the unique radio telescope: diameter 500 meters, perimeter 1,600 meters, 4,450 panels for observation of the extraterrestrial life. It takes 40 minutes for the diameter inspector to walk around the entire telescope.
However, not only China became closer to the space. Russia has been a leader of the space industry for some years now. Everything is in the distant 60s of the 20th century. This is the footage of the Chronicles, year 2023. In the Amur region, the Vostochny Space Launch Complex was completed. The same year, the Federation ship with a crew was launched. Russia began to colonize the moon and began construction of research stations.
Time of the pioneers has come again. We built our moon park. Let's move on. Russia is colonizing Mars.
Space tourism is now a very fashionable phenomenon, and you can fly anywhere, to the moon, to Mars. As for me, I did not fly so far, of course, but my parents presented 3 rings in the orbit to me for my graduation. It's just an incredible feeling. Space tourism is still expensive, but prices are falling every year. Visiting the ISS and landing on Mars is what tourists are offered. Preparation for the flight takes only a week.
What happens if we just decide, I want to go to some South Sea island, or I want to go to the mountains, or I want to go to space, and energy is no longer a constraint? Then at that point, the only constraint becomes just time availability and individual choice.
The main discovery that made space accessible was the invention of artificial leaves. Photosynthesis is possible even in space. This means that it is possible to produce air even in space. Moreover, these leaves are gradually decomposed into flammables, and they provide cheap fuel to space stations. So, a lot has changed by 2030. We made our life more environment-friendly, became almost independent of the old way of life. Robots, virtual life, cybernetics are now routine for us. Still, we cannot fly freely over space like over our native land yet. There are still many mysteries and ways for new discoveries. But it's even more interesting. And the most important thing is that each of us always has the fire burning inside us. Our energy is boiling. Feel it and discover the world together with the Global Energy Prize.